Hi, thank you for watching the startup video for the FinePix XP30 GPS edition. In Canada, this camera is available in the blue color, but in other countries, it may be available in other colors like orange, black, as well as green. So in Canada, we just specialize it, and it's really only available in the blue, okay? So this video is going to show you how to get this camera up and running for the very first time. We're going to put the batteries in, the memory card in, and then we're going to start taking some pictures. So let's do that right now. First things first, the camera does use an include rechargeable lithium battery. It uses an NP45 rechargeable battery. We highly recommend when you use the camera for the first time, you charge the batteries up completely. Although it does have a slight charge, it's better to just fully charge it. I've already done that prior to this video. So first things first is to open up the compartment where the battery goes in, and that's actually on the side of the camera. Now, because this camera is a shockproof, dustproof, waterproof, everything-proof camera, there's actually special seals around this compartment door. So to do that, we first have to unlock it by using this little tab. We push it to the towards me, and it flips right open. As you can see, there's actually rubber sealing around this, as well as some protection here. The second door actually is just the USB connector on the camera, so we don't need to actually open that up. So we're going to close that up. Okay. So to insert the batteries in correctly, you want to follow the guidelines. If you take a look at the camera, there is a little battery indicator that's showing you to match the orange stripe with the diagram there. You also want the contacts to go in towards the camera and not this particular way. Okay, so follow the contacts with its stripes, with that little symbol, and now we can insert that properly in. And as you insert it, it clips in place so the battery does not fall out. Again, if you want to eject the battery, again, that little clip, you can pull it to the side, and it pops right open. And now I can actually take the batteries out, so I'm going to put that back in again. Secondly, the camera uses, of course, an SD card. I do have here with me just a standard 2 gig SD card. We highly recommend, if you are to record HD video, to pick up a class 4 rated card or faster. Otherwise, you're going to have some issues recording HD video because the card is not fast enough to write to. Okay? For this demonstration purposes, again, just a standard card will do for me. Putting in the card into the camera, there's really only one way of doing it. If you do it the incorrect way, okay, the card will not fit in. So don't try to jam that card in. The proper way to do is obviously the contacts to face the back of the camera, and in that slot it goes in. It is spring loaded, so if I push it in, it clips in place. It's not going to come out on me. If I want to eject that card, I push in again, and now it pops open, and it allows me to take the card out. Now I actually turned on the on and off switch there, so I kind of stepped ahead, but I'll show you that in a second. So before I do that, you want to close the lid, and that is not closed. So this is waterproof, shockproof. You can take this underwater. You want to make sure this door is properly closed. If I push all the way in, it should clip in place. What I like to do is just to hold it and push it to the right just to make sure that that is locked and tight in place. That's now not going to come out. Okay? Now we can actually take this camera underwater if we wanted to. Now before we start, of course, is to turn the camera on. I did that accidentally, obviously, by pushing the on and off switch. There's also another way of turning the camera on, and that's by holding the playback button for a few seconds, and it will also turn the camera on as well. And it's a good way of turning it on without having to extend or open up the lens, because you just want to show back images. So I already turned it on by pushing the on and off switch. First thing you're going to get is a basic setup menu, and it's going to ask you to select the language. By using the directional pad, I can actually select the various languages on this camera, and there's actually a ton of languages, which I'm going to have to navigate now through the multiple pages back to English. There we go. I'm going to push OK. Now it's also going to ask you for the date and time, as well as a power saving mode. And if it doesn't ask you that, it's because you already turned the camera on. And for this instance, I haven't actually turned this camera on prior to this video. So that's why it didn't ask me for the date and time. I can go back into the menu, and I can go to the setup, and I can actually change the date and time later on. So if I forget that or accidentally push OK, I can go back and change that anytime I wanted to. Okay? Now, let's see if we can take a picture with this camera. Of course, the camera's default mode is in SR Auto, which means Scene Recognition Auto. It automatically sets the scene. If I'm doing a close-up shot, it's going to switch the focusing to macro, as you can see there. If I'm doing just a regular shot, it's going to do automatic. It's going to determine if it's a portrait, landscape. This is a great mode to shoot in all the time. You notice face detection is on. Because I have a 2 gig card, I can fire 548 shots. That's what's remaining. My batteries are completely full, and I have it on the highest resolution right now for taking pictures. Okay? How do I change the shooting mode on the camera? I push the menu OK button. The shooting options right there. I push OK again, or I can push to the right. And now I can select between the various modes like automatic, program, natural light, and flash, which takes a picture with and without flash. There's natural light, which is no flash. And there's a bunch of other shooting modes. There's not even a panoramic sweeping mode or motion panoramic mode that takes 3 shots and stitches it automatically together. So I'm going to bring that menu right back to the scene recognition auto for this little demo. Okay, and I'm just going to push back to get out of the menu system. To take the picture for the very first time, the shutter button is on top. 2 ways of doing it. Of course, you can just push all the way down. The problem with that is that it has to focus, and then it takes a picture afterwards, so there'll be a slight delay. So again, if I push it all the way down, there may be a slight delay. If I do this and I move the camera down, it might be taking a picture of the table. So you want to do the technique of pushing the shutter button halfway down to pre-focus, and then when you're ready to shoot, you push all the way down, and it takes a shot. So it actually reduces the shutter lag on the camera. Again, halfway down to focus, and push it all the way down to shoot. Now to zoom in, zoom out on this camera, because it does have a 5x zoom lens, the zoom does not come out of the camera. It actually moves up and down this little barrel, and the sensor is actually just at the bottom here. A little prism reflects light down the lens and through this lens compartment right here. So instead of the lens moving up, down, it's going this way, which keeps the compactness of the camera. Okay, now it is a wide angle lens, it is 5x zoom. This is the wide angle telephoto controls to zoom in, zoom out. So by sliding it to the right, I can zoom in, and by sliding to the left, I can zoom out. Very simple. Zoom in, push halfway to pre-focus, push all the way down to take the picture. Flash fires automatically because it thought it needed to. Zoom out, take a picture again. There we go. Okay, one last feature on this camera is obviously the video recording feature. It's a one-touch button. I push one time down, it starts recording the video. And then if I can stop it by pushing it again. So I don't actually have to go to any special menu system to record video, which is very convenient. If you're taking this camera underwater or to the beach, you can record video without having to fiddle with going into the menu and switching the different modes, okay? Now, if I wanted to look at the images, I push the playback button right down here. And, of course, this is a video. I can push down to play that video, okay? I can stop the video by pushing up. I can navigate between the different pictures by going this way or that way, so left or right. Okay. Now, if I wanted to zoom in on the picture, I can use the zoom tool on the top, just like you would with optical zoom. I'm just going to zoom in on this image. Okay. There we go. That's good. And I can actually pan by using the directional pads going left and right. And I can pan the different shots to see if the focusing is right. This is a little indication of the whole scene itself and where the zoom is. I can zoom in closer if I wanted to, right down there. And then I can just check to see if maybe someone blinked in my shot, right? Look, it's the Fuji Guys card. Okay, to get out of this quickly, just push the display back button, and I'm back out. Very simple. If I wanted to delete this picture because I didn't like it, there's a quick instant delete by using this pushing up on the directional pad. I can go erase OK, I'm going to push up, OK, and the image is now deleted off that camera. If I wanted to wipe all the images off the card, I would push the menu button. I can then go into, let me do that again, sorry. If I push the menu button, I can scroll down to the erase menu, push to the right, and I can select from 3 options: the current picture that's showing on the screen, I can select a bunch of pictures, or I can delete them all. I want to show you how to select images to be deleted. So I'm going to do that by pushing OK. All the images come up as a little thumbnail. This shot here was bad. I want to erase that, so I'm going to push OK to select that. Little check mark shows up. And that picture I didn't really like either, so I'm going to push OK, and I selected that. I now have 2 images selected. If I wanted to erase those images, I push back. And it says I have a total of 2 images selected. Do I want to erase it? Yes or no? Yes. And those images are now deleted, which is left only with the images I didn't select. Okay, so that's just a quick look of getting started with the XP30 GPS camera.